Chill Talk.
Chill Talk.
Chill Talk.
Chill Talks.
Welcome to Chill Talks Podcast, your companion in your chill time.
Okay, hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of Chill Talks Podcast, where we discuss anything and everything over a cup of coffee. So I am your host, PJ, and this is another Chill Reacts episode. And this time, I will be joined by JM Cruz. So if the name sounds familiar, he was the first episode na nag-react kami ni Miss Iza, and I think he was the one that started this. Nag-kick off na tuloy-tuloy yung series na ito because it was a huge success the first time. So we might as well do it once more. And this time, ang pag-uusapan namin is an episode by the Project of Beat podcast, wherein they interviewed a cosplayer, a voice actress named Nicola Bernice Reyes. So before we dive into that, IJM, good evening, and thank you so much for thank you so much for being here and helping me react to this one.
Yeah, sure. Good evening, everyone. JM Chris from 0 Hour Discussions. Sir PJ, thank you so much for the invite, and also shouts out to you and also to Isa for listening through the Silent Hill episode that I forwarded. It's very fan-centric kung tutusin. Not everyone will enjoy it, but I just enjoyed talking to Max. Max is one of my heroes in content creating, so that was a treat for me, and I hope you guys also at least got some knowledge on how the game goes and how it reflects in real life. But yeah, thank you so much for inviting me in this episode.
Yes. It was a pleasure talaga. Kaya sabi na, laging gulat din namin kasi na even some of my listeners nag-PM sa akin na na-appreciate nila yun. I think I talked to this with you off recording. Pero yun nga, I digress. We will proceed doon sa pag-uusap natin doon sa episode ng Project of Beat. Kasi I think you chose this topic for the knowledge of everyone listening. JM chose this topic because malapit ito sa puso niya, because I think you have a history being involved dito sa mga cosplayers, attending events as a photographer, diba? So at least may perspective tayo from behind the scenes. And actually like before, sa mga bagong pakinig pa lang nitong series na ito, this will be this will be a sausaw format of discussion. Ibig sabihin ng sausaw, hindi namin hindi namin i-react per time or per whole hour kung gaano katagal yung full episode para mapakinggan nyo rin yung full episode at hindi lang dito sa discussion namin.
Yeah.
Okay, so with that, all of those claimers out of the way, let's just jump into it. Kasi looking at the origins of doon kay Miss Nicola, how do you pronounce her name? Nicola, di ba? Nicola Bernice.
Yeah, Nicola Bernice Reyes.
Yeah. And one of the things na naging interested ako doon sa sinabi niya, yung mga natutunan niyang skills during the pandemic. Yung natuto siya mag Photoshop instead of hiring commissions to do that. And ikaw, JM, during this pandemic, any new skills na natutunan mo na never in your dreams na naisip mo matututunan mo unless nagka-pandemic?
Mga saklang tao siguro, number one. Kasi bored out tayo pagdating dito. But, joking aside, the whole premise na meron yung 0 Hour Discussions, actually, it was Stay at Home Podcast in 2020. Nagsimula siya talaga nung nangyari itong lahat nito. So, if you're going to count that as a skill, talking to the mic, through the mic, and also creating topics and sending emails to everyone I'm interested in interviewing, I think that came, or at least I learned that throughout this pandemic. And syempre, since I'm also a musician, medyo nagkaroon ako ng time to practice, but not that much. Nag-focus talaga ako sa content creation at this point. I also played some games. Yun siguro yung majority ng ginawa ko throughout these 2 years na meron ngayon. It was very hard, and I could also praise or at least give yung two cents ko kay Burr na mahirap yung ginawa niya. When you try to study something like Photoshop or even Lightroom na kailangan mo i-edit yung sarili mo, that also takes a lot of time. And mahirap siyang gawin talaga.
Yes.
Honestly, dahil ginagawa ko siya before. I was a professional photographer before and also freelance eh. Kaya ako tinamad dahil hindi ko kaya. Nahirapan ako eh.
Kasi parang na-try ko din dati ang Photoshop and di ko alam kung nakakatakot or nakakailang kasi minsan I find it awkward editing my own photos. I don't know, siguro hindi rin ata ako hindi rin ako katulad nung yun nga yung mga cosplayers natin or any form of content creator na focus sa images nila on kano yung pag-project nila sa sarili nila kasi sometimes even editing audio based content like podcast is very ano tawag yan, may parang creator's bias nga na hindi mo alam kung perfect na talaga siya or maganda na siya sa pandinig ng iba pero sa tingin mo tama na. And editing photos is kind of the same league na ganun. And ikaw usually when criticizing your own work, are you harsher on yourself than other people?
Definitely. Kasi I am a perfectionist per se. I have my own page na saan nakapost lahat ng mga photos ko, mga kuha ko, even before gig photos, cosplay, photography, and concept art, nandun lahat. And me being a photographer, gusto ko lahat maganda. Gusto ko lahat maayos. Gusto ko to the T, yun ang gusto kong gawin yun. Yun ang itatry ko i-produce using the camera. And if I don't do it right in the camera, there's no sense for me to even think about editing it into post-processing or sending it to post-processing kasi hindi ko naman nagawa ng tama eh. So, ganun ako ka-perfectionist. Even sa pagtugtog, ganun din ako. Kaya naiirita yung mga kabanda ko sa akin and tugtugan namin, it does require some sort of skill level, lalo na sa genre na tinutugtog namin. Same with podcasting then, but I don't really feel the same way kasi yun sa inyo, mahirap yung ginagawa nyo. I don't really do post-processing. I do live shows. Though yun nga, umabot ng 4 to 5 hours yung usapan namin. And that's also probably a skill. Dahil
mahirap
for
yun
a person to for a person to actually hold the conversation more than an hour, so lalo na pag hindi mo pa kilala, that takes a lot of skill. And me being a fan of Joe Rogan, marami ako natutunan sa kanya. So in regards to Burr, it's really hard kasi you have to conceptualize everything as an artist in a sense. Parang pagdating sa gamit niya, and also yung cosplay niya, not to mention yung mga shots na gusto niya, lahat yun kailangan niyang pag-isipan.
Yes.
So, so hard.
And yung didi-describe nga ni Bern or ni Nicola yung kanyang journey nung ini-edit yung pictures niya, yung paano siya nagiging critical sa mga gawa niya. Parang, do you have time? Yung naano ko eh. Yun yung una ko naisip. Do you have time? How do you have time doing that? And during those discussion, if you listen sa mga nakikinig sa atin, if you listen the episode ng Project Offbeat, halos lahat ay pinag-usapan yung buhay nung guest nila. Pero in this one, I want to get your take kasi one of the things na I found interesting in cosplaying is that the character na pinoportray nila, pinipersonify nila. And as a photographer na for sure, countless cosplayers na ang nakunan mo ng litrato. Ano yung mga moments na pag sinashatan mo yung isang cosplayer na nasasabi mo na wow, nakukuha nung cosplayer na to yung character na pinoportray niya?
That's going to be very subjective. Kasi may mga tao na, honestly, may mga tao gusto na mag-cosplay na gusto lang nila. There are people na really passionate and they know the character in and out. And there's also people na nag-cosplay lang dahil napansin nilang pwedeng kumita.
Mhm.
So there's always going to be in between sa mga ganun. And the best way na malalaman mo kung talagang may passion yung tao sa ginagawa niya or yung cosplayer yung cosplayer na portraying a certain character, you could see dun sa post nila.
Mhm.
And also when you get to approach them after taking the shot, pwede mo silang kausapin and get a bit of a feel kung ano yung love nila sa character na yun. But in a visual standpoint, sometimes may kita mo sa reference ni kung paano sila mag-pose eh.
Mhm.
And me being a photographer, I could say na yung usually mga tao may ganun, yung mga passionate when it comes to their cosplay, those are the people that you don't have to direct them on what they need to post. Parang ikaw, it's just your job to accentuate the post na meron sila. Also make them look good.
Mhm.
And being in the community for about 10 more years,
Mhm.
I've met a lot of people na talagang sobrang passionate nila. For example, yung pinakasikat na cosplayer ngayon, si Alodia. I had the pleasure of working with her also in one of their first events here in Power Plant Mall, Cosplay Fusion. And then, maliit pa yung maliit pa yung community nun. So, everyone knows each other. Katulad ng sinabi ni Bear, everyone knows each other, and also, you could feel yung passion nila. These are the characters that we love cosplaying. We really relate with. And you could see that oozing in kahit nakausapin mo lang sila. Talagang nakikita mong fan sila.
Mhm.
Sometimes mga over the top, but what can you do? This is a community of people who enjoy their fandom. Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
I
Good
kinda
vibes
agree.
lagi.
And without naming any names, since you
Sige.
have been in the industry for almost 10 years, ano yung mga iba't ibang kinds of cosplayer na nami-meet mo? Kasi for sure, I think Alodia is at the pinnacle of this. Siya yung pinaka role model ng lahat. Pero aside from her, sino yung mga nakikilala mo na naging masaya mo silang nakasama, mga ibang cosplayer naman na nairita ka na nakatrabaho sila. Kaya without naming any name, so yung tipong na-question mo na yung sarili mo, why am I in this community when you meet certain kind of cosplayers? May ganun ka bang naranasan with those 10 years?
With the I just like to dispel first also the cosplay thing is more of a community talaga. It's not an industry like people would say. So just going digging back on this one, kaya nila nasasabing industry dahil kumikita yung tao dito, but in reality, no. Sa events sila kumikita, not really in cosplay. But when meeting people within the community, any sort of community, parang you have to treat this like you're in a business, a business event. There are people are going to piss you off. There are people that you're going to connect with in an emotional level, and there's just people na parang dinaanan mo lang and then wala. Thankfully, marami akong nakilala within this community na I consider as friends for the most part. Two of my best friends and closest I've met in this community. Pare-parehas kaming photographers. At one point, kami dalawa ng isa, nag-cosplay na rin kami. So, yeah. And there are tons of people here na matatalino, and not just as a cosplayer, matatalino sila in real life. They're also empathetic towards other people. They love to share their passion and also help other fans out if they want. For example, yan si Bert. Kita naman kung gaano siya enthusiastic with this episode. She likes to sharing her passion so that people would understand how much she loves it, and some people will be interested in also trying it. Kasi there are instances when takot lang talagang mag-try ang tao due to judgment na baka mamaya kumuha ako ng costume ni Son Goku, hindi magkasya sa akin dahil di malaking katawan ko. Yung mga ganun, pagtatawanan ako ng tao, which is also rampant. It's really sad to say, but we're living in an imperfect world. So we just have to do the best out of it. But so far, dun sa community, at least with the people I've been associated with, all of them are good people. Bihira ka makakita ng may masamang tawag ito, masamanda mo, as they say. But with any sort of circle, there will always be people na ganun talaga. Hindi mo maiiwasan eh. Anywhere.
Mhm.
I treat every time na nandun ako, I treat everything as like a business na lang, na pupunta ako sa isang business event na may kipagkita na sa tao. Unless kung may kipagkita talaga ako dun sa mga closest friends ko. So that's a different thing.
Okay. And I think this would be the perfect time to jump into that topic na sinabi mo kanina na yung cosplaying is not an industry. Actually here in the Philippines, diba? It's not an industry and it's more on a community. And ano tawag nito? Kasi karamihan ang pakakaintindi nila ay si Alodia yumaman dahil cosplayer siya, si Miss Nicola, si Bernice ay yumaman dahil cosplayer siya. And I think she denied that on that episode, 'di ba? Parang hindi niya inaangkin na kung ano yung mga success na nakukuha niya financially was achieved solely through cosplaying. So since personally I don't have any personal experiences speaking on this, so can you care to elaborate more na why is the conception of people when it comes to cosplaying is it is not an industry but rather it's only a community?
I think we also talked about this off kanina, off recording kanina. So we came into a consensus that probably in other parts of the world they could consider it as a quote-unquote industry. But here in the Philippines it's a different thing. So even before pa, when this hobby started, it didn't boom like sabihin natin modeling industry na, 'di ba? 'Yun. Prime example na lang 'yon, modeling industry. Dahil kumikita yung mga models through what they're doing, which is modeling primarily. When you compare it with the cosplay community before, say, turn back the wheels of time around 2007 or even 2005, rarely na makakita ka ng kikita dito sa hobby na to. Because it's very foreign at that time. But then again, there comes a time when each hobby turns into something that you actually love and you get something out of it, like an income, or sabihin natin makakuha ka ng racket. So bihira pa rin yun. Mas marami na siya nowadays because the demand is already there. But to call this as an industry na sabihin natin parang pagkakitaan nila natin kaya natin ginagawa to, that's the main concept of an industry. Even if you look it up in Google, it's not that. Even Nicola or Burr dispelled that notion na kumikita siya dahil nagko-cosplay siya. No, Burr is a very good artist. She cosplays. She knows how to sing. She also is a voice actress. And I think she also does some of her costumes, I think.
Yes.
As far as I could remember. So if you hindi pa, may kulang pa yung number 5, which is the most important thing. She's also working in events. So if you tie those things up together, what do you get? You get someone highly knowledgeable and also highly passionate, a highly passionate cosplayer who knows the ins and out of the events industry, and she would be able to use that passion and also that creativity para pagkakitaan niya, to have an income with some hobby na ginagawa lang niya talaga primarily before she gets some any sort of monetary or any income out of it. So yun nga, I cannot really call this as an industry even here. In Japan, as you said earlier, that might be a different thing because even the state has sanctioned on this one. We could get someone from this community and yung gagamitin natin. But then again, parang sa akin, you're still taking someone out of that community or that fellowship.
Kasi
and then yung gagamitin niya.
Kasi
Yeah, sure.
anong tawag nito? Like parang na-discuss natin kanina, meron yung modeling agency, modeling industry.
Yeah.
Kasi nagkakaroon din siya ng na-establish as an industry kasi parang nagkakaroon ng centralized body na sila yung
Yes, exactly.
'di ba? And I think the only country that has that is Japan, na may centralized na sila na companies na yun lang ang ginagawa nila. Kaya parang kaya nilang i-monetize na if you want to be a cosplayer, you need to have this skill, you need to have this look para same with modeling. I think modeling industry may certain standards din. Same with the cosplaying industry. Kasi dito sa Philippines, ang nakita nung may na-interview akong cosplayer, one of the things that she said off air, sabi niya sa akin, may mga iba daw kasi na ang misconception nila na pag nag-cosplay ka, nagbenta ka lang nung mga printed images mo, ng mga prints mo, you can be considered as a professional cosplayer, which is not the case daw. Parang, ano tawag niyan to?
Not even close.
Oo. Selling prints as a cosplayer is another way to earn money, but it doesn't make you, ano tawag niya to?
A professional.
It doesn't make you a professional. Parang, you can only be considered as professional if you are working under a company that's focusing on that. And, so parang ganun. And kanina nasabi mo to make maging lighter ng konti yung discussion natin. Nasabi mo kanina nag-cosplay ka. Who was the cosplay character na nag-enjoy ka na i-cosplay as?
Actually, I've only cosplayed 2 characters and both of them personify kung sino ako talaga. Yung pinakauna ko is tawag dito, Fate Stay Night, which is si Archer, Emiya. So, yung team nun, kulay pula, suot-suot niya, and then he's very mysterious, also sometimes very cocky. Typical na anti-hero na turned hero din in the end. So, yun yung yun yung pinakauna kong cosplay. You could see it kapag sinearch nyo yung pangalan ko, makikita nyo. Yung second ko naman is, since I'm a big Batman fan, manonood nga pala kaming Batman sometime this weekend, nag-cosplay na ako ng Red Hood. Jason Todd.
Oh, nice.
Not exactly Red Hood na buong Red Hood. I was wearing
yung jacket
niya, and then naka-suit ako. Naka 3-piece suit ako. So it's more I forgot to mention, script ba yun? Parang, it's my own interpretation of
Red Hood.
The Red Hood na they call this Prince of Crime. When he invaded or took over Penguin's lair. Kasi may time na siya yung naging Prince of Gotham eh. So, yun yung tinatry ko i-achieve, which is not perfect. Actually, kaya ko nang gawin uli ngayon kung may oras ako, pero I chose not to because magastos ang cosplay eh. Sobrang gastos niya.
Exactly.
And nasira yung mask ko. Nasira yung helmet ko, so kailangan ko magpagawa ulit.
Custom yung mask mo for Red Hood kasi I think kay Red Hood kasi once you nail the mask, kasi since he is a vigilante, parang you can incorporate your own style with the character eh. Yun din, kahit I think even in the comics, ganun din yung design niya. Varied ang design ni Red Hood when it comes to clothing. Kasi diba, anong tawag niyan? Napaka-flexible niya na yung origin niya. Kasi diba tumiwalas na siya as Batman's sidekick. So nagsarili na talaga siya noon. So, and you mentioned pala without getting into spoilers, worth it. The time watching Batman will be worth it. Yun lang.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I think I'll be reserving siguro my judgment because that's what I do. I mean, I review films and I'm a big fan of the Nolan series, especially The Dark Knight and also Batman Begins.
Yeah,
I have friends from the US and sinasabi na close The Dark Knight, but I doubt it because iba yung The Dark Knight kung tutusin. But
iba siya.
We don't know. I mean, every year lagi nila may bagong movie, and I haven't really been totally enjoying any of the Marvel. So I hope Marvel series and also release. So I'm expecting DC to do something better. Lalo na to, tagal nito bago linabas eh.
But this one, it's
3 hours long.
on its own, it's a good movie. On its own, without, if hindi mo siya i-compare, it's a very good movie. And wag na natin pag-usapan so mga nakikinig. For sure, maybe this will be released habang showing na yung Batman starring
Enjoy.
Robert Pattinson.
Enjoy kayo this weekend. Manood na kayo.
It's very fun. It's a very fun movie. And also, yun nga, pagdating sa selling of printed images, may mga, on your experiences, meron ka bang unexpected things na nabenta mo? Or parang hindi mo ina-expect na isang certain project mo ay kikita ka? Kasi because you're just doing it out of fun or out of hobby mo lang talaga siya. May ganun ka rin bang
Photographer ako.
Mm-mm.
Kasi nung photographer ako, kung ginagawa ko lang siya sa hobby. Totoo. And sa ako nasabing professional ako, it's because people are now contacting me to do gigs.
Mm-hmm.
So, when people contact you to do gigs or something na ganon, and they want me to cover an event, cover a concert, primarily kasi before, panay concerts ang kino-cover ko, and masaya siya. Dami kong perks nun. Minsan nakakatulog pa ako sa hotel kung nasan yung guest. May sarili akong kwarto. I enjoy that time, pero hindi ko siya nagtagal, parang isang taon lang. I also cover some small events like birthday parties, debuts, some weddings na hindi ko na-enjoy mag-cover ng weddings. Yun siguro yung extent nun. Pagdating naman sa banda ko, parang once pa lang kami nabayaran, pero hindi naman namin in-expect yun. We just like to play Final Fantasy music. Yun ang gusto namin. Pero besides, wala pa yata. Those were the only ones na ako. Okay. Nakumita ako.
Pero I think that would be nakakagulat na rin yun kasi yun nga, hindi mo naman talaga ine-expect. I think in your career as a photographer, parang in one way, the trajectory will be there kasi lalo na kung magaganda yung mga shots mo. Pero syempre, during the moment na kumukuha ka ng pictures during the concert, sa mga cosplayers, never mo naman in-expect na, baka may kumuha sa akin dito. Diba? You're just doing out of fun. And
I think yung mindset na ganun, it only occurs when you're in a full-time gig.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, so, I can agree.
Yeah, kapag ka-cover ka na ng event, you would like to expect someone to at least give you a calling card or get your information.
Mm-mm.
So pagdating doon, but when it comes to casual shoots, inside gig, yung mga tawag dito, yung bar gigs, even yung mga concerts na hindi ka bayad, just don't expect anything. Just expect to have a good time. Yun lang naman yun.
Kasi anong tawag nito? Sa akin, I think ang pinaka-unexpected ko talaga is actually this podcast na magugulat na lang ako. Sabi kasi sa akin, someone suggested to me na try ko daw mag-set up ng Patreon. Ayoko naman ng ganon kasi if I set up a Patreon, parang the pressure will be there na alam mo yun, kasi alam mo nang may nagbabayad sa'yo, may looming pressure na dapat monthly may ganito kang gawin. Ayoko nang ganon, especially given my full-time job as a teacher.
Diba? I agree.
Sakit sa ulo yun. Pero ang sinabi ko, try ko maglagay nung Gcash ko, hindi bank account. Isang araw, may na-receive ako. Someone sent this na may ganitong request ng topic. And doon, actually nagulat ako na never I expected dito sa Philippines na may gagawa nun. Kung US, I think kung US, pwede kasi very popular ang kanilang donation culture sa atin. Ang donation culture natin, pag sinabi mong donation ay
hiya ka pa dito.
Oo, may hiya ka pa maghingi ng donation dito. Nung nakita ko, that was very unexpected. And there was one time, hindi ko napapangalanan yung nagpadala. Someone sent me 2,500 pesos to talk about sex. Yung talagang detailed talks about sex. Ang ginawa ko, tiyan ko yung number, binalik ko yung 2,500. Ayoko to pag-usapan. Mahirap kasi. Kaya at least yun, pag ganun kasi, pag Gcash kasi, I have the power to return the money. If that makes sense, diba? Kasi parang nakaka-pressure kung lahat ng topics i-accept mo. And ito pala, speaking of cosplayers, kasi parang di naman I don't think na mention to dun sa episode nung Project Offbeat. In your professional opinion, as being in the community for so long, ano yung mga kailangan ng gawin ng mga aspiring cosplayers? Kasi for sure, if you are cosplaying, there is subconsciously parang gusto mong manotice ka, di ba? Kasi before the pandemic, you can go to events, you can coordinate with other people, pero ngayong nag-evolve na ang communities, ano ang best way for someone who is starting to grow their presence as a cosplayer?
I think if I was to reflect throughout the years, gradually it already changed, because when we started hanging out before, this was around mid 2000s, ano lang the people are not even perfectionists pagdating sa nila, sa mga costumes nila. The main important thing is that they portray characters that they love. That's the number one. I think that essence shouldn't be lost in people who would like to try this hobby. Because if you don't even know the character, why are you even doing it in the first place? Is it just because it was a trend that you'd like to join in? Is it something famous that you just like to dip your fingers in? So if you're going to start this, you have to first segregate muna kung anong gusto mong gawin. What is a character that I really love? What is a character that I enjoy seeing and also relate with? Sometimes it would not even fit the dimensions na meron ka, physical form, but that's okay. Because as with other hobbies and also passion, you are just passionate about the character. There's really no room for people to tell you what to do and what not to do. Unless, katulad nga sinabi kanina, if this turns out to be an industry na parang centralized na lahat, there will be rules or whatsoever. So, dun na lang. So, my main advice for people who'd like to start this, just enjoy the anime or whatever you'd like to watch first. Get to know the character that you'd like to cosplay, and see first kung ano yung ano nyo. What would be your emotional connection to that? Do you also have the money to do it? Do you also have the source of income to pursue such hobby? Kasi mahal din siya. Bear already mentioned it na to cut cost, she needed to do some of the stuff na kailangan niyang gamitin. And you also need to develop that some sort of skill when it comes to creating kung talagang wala kang pera. And that requires a lot of time. So, to cut it short, siguro yun yung number one ko. You have to know first muna kung anong gusto may cosplay. Regardless kung anong opinion ng ibang tao. And also, don't let the bad opinion of other people pull you down and also discourage you. Everyone will have bad days. Even me. Maraming nag-criticize sa ano ko. Sa Archer cosplay ko kasi first and foremost, I didn't wear a wig. But when they approached me, they felt na parang, oh yeah, this guy feels a lot like Emiya rather than looks like him. Because to be honest, not everyone will be able to do that perfect cosplay. Unless magbuno ka ng pera and also oras mo to do it. Practice and also making sure that before you launch this cosplay, perfect na yung ano mo, yung mga props mo and also yung costume mo, and also how the character talks, how the character moves. Kailangan alam mo na you have to know all of those details if you'd like to get at least the near perfect cosplay na sinasabi nila.
Yeah.
But treat it as a hobby lang. You just have to treat it something you enjoy. You came into this community knowing na gusto ko lang mag-enjoy, gusto ko lang i-portray yung character. I want to live in this fandom probably once in my life, and let's try kung talagang gusto ko nga. Sometimes kasi may mga tao na once na magka-cosplay, hindi na nila uulitin ulit. Because they know kung gaano kahirap. And it demands a lot of finances and also demands a lot of time. Hindi biro yung pupunta ka sa isang convention and then lalo na pag ikaw lang mag-isa. It's not a very easy task for you to drag around so many bags or so many items especially if you're wearing a mecha or you're cosplaying a robot or sabihin natin Gundam or sabihin natin Arkham City na na Batman, marami kang dala. So marami kang kailangan isipin, but at the heart of it, you should know the character. You should love the character that you're portraying, and everything else will follow.
Ano tawag nito? Kasi may mga ibang gusto mag-try ng cosplaying for, like you said, for the experience. Kasi personally, yung nakagusto kong i-cosplay. Very simple lang naman. Pero mahirap i-achieve. Si Saitama. Yun lang. Kasi, ang sabi sa akin, sabi ko, mag-cosplay akong Saitama, kailangan walang maging kalbo. Sabi ko, hindi. No. Nakita mo katawan ng lalaking yun. Anong tahan? I think, kasi na-mention ko si Saitama kasi one of the cringiest moments na nakita ko kasi may mga fina-follow akong cosplayer nung before ako mag-interview ng isang cosplayer kong guest. May makikita akong nagko-comment na yung may isa doon nag-cosplay, si Lucy Heartfilia from Fairy Tail. May nag-comment, ang daming nagko-comment. Bakit ang liit ng boobs? Bakit?
Yeah.
Di ba? The boobs
that's
should...
called gatekeeping. Also nitpicking. Hindi mo na talaga siya hindi mo siya matatanggal in any fandom. It's really inevitable for people to criticize you whatever you do, whether it's perfect, whether sobrang sablay, talagang may negative comments on. It's actually one of the worst things na pwedeng gawin ng tao because it discourages most people na walang self-esteem and also self-confidence. So another flip side dun, siguro kunin ko na din yung yung opinion mo, Sir PJ. Do you think dapat bang pumasok yung mga taong mababa yung self-esteem or mahina, hindi nila matanggap yung rejection pagdating sa ganitong klaseng hobby? Kasi ayun nga, nakaka-demoralize yung ganun .
True. Pero personally, yes. If you are personality-wise, pag alam mo talagang you are easily offended, madali kang emotionally compromised, do not enter an industry wherein you are in the scrutiny of the public eye. Kasi the moment you are entering the cosplay community, everyone will see that. Whether yung mababait, yung mga supportive, at yung mga hindi supportive, they will see that.
Yep.
And if you cannot handle that if you don't have the skin to accept those kinds of comments, anong tawag niyan? Practicein mo muna yung ganung personality. If you really want to do it, kasi minsan, I've known so many people na mga balat sibuyas, pero dahil gustong-gusto nila yung ginagawa nila, nawawala na, parang, wina-white out na lang nila. Minamaster nila yung ganun. But if you cannot handle that kind of, wag na muna. Practice na lang muna, developing that kind of attitude. Then, go back to posting images.
Actually, I just saw something here. Gusto ko sanang basahin kaso medyo mahaba siya. Sobrang haba. I have a friend here na cosplayer and she is dispelling the common misconception in the community. So, siguro basahin ko lang yung yung 5.
Sige lang.
That's fine?
Yeah, that's fine.
So, number 1, if you're a cosplayer, you're getting paid. Yes and no. There are full-time cosplayers who really get paid by cosplaying. Those who are famous to be regarded as a convention guest, Patreon, coffee users, or those Ko-Fi, or those who are chosen to be a brand ambassador to cosplay for a certain company during promotions and conventions. And there are those who just do it and enjoy it as a hobby. So dun pa lang, marami na talaga tayong pwede pag-usapan. Number 2, if you're not a cosplayer and you're friends with some famous cosplayer, hindi kan sabihin yung pangalan, banggit ko na kanina. So hindi totoo yun. Not all. Yes, we know about them, but it doesn't mean everyone in the community are rubbing elbows with those big names. Number 3, is a cosplayer the same as a mascot? A mascot is a human, animal, or whatever object thought to bring luck or anything used to represent a group with a common public identity, such as a school, professional sports team, society, blah blah blah. If a cosplayer is hired to promote a booth, in a way it is the same as mascoting because they represent a brand name, series, or a game that they are paid to promote. Performers are different though. Cosplayers who are hired for birthday parties are called performers. So, siguro ganun na, sobrang haba eh. So, doon pa lang, we could see that there are different facets dito na hindi talaga nag-involve yung cosplay and also yung industry.
Mhm.
There are some standards na kailangan gawin. And it's really just a hobby talaga na
Yes.
parang swertehin ka na lang kung makukuha ka.
And ano tawag nito, I love the distinction doon sa sinabi mo kanina na a cosplayer is very different from being a performer. Kasi minsan may mga cosplayer na they are just applying the costume kasi gusto lang talaga nila gawin, at may iba naman na they wear the costume at the same time magpe-perform sila with that costume. I think those two are very different things, and sa mata ng tao they just see that as the same thing kasi you're just portraying a character, and what's the difference if you are acting like them or not, diba? Pero
Yeah.
yun nga, minsan sa mga tao kasi we just prefer the things na madali lang natin intindihin, di ba? That's why misconceptions happen, because we prioritize the things that we think we easily understand, and we don't bother digging deeper into that. And I think hindi naman ata to na-mention doon sa episode nung Project Offbeat podcast, pero I think it's very napag-usapan din kasi namin to nung na I think humuhugot lang talaga ako dun sa na-interview kong cosplayer. Kasi yun nga, the community is very tight na ang dali mag-blacklist ng mga tao sa community ng cosplayer sa Philippines. Kasi ang nakwento niya sa akin doon, pag may isa lang daw na ng bully, may isang nakaaway, i-post lang daw doon sa community, automatic. Once you have this in proof, mabablacklist ba siya? Ay, blacklisted na siya. How true is that based on your experience pagdating sa ganung community interaction, pagdating sa pag-control ng mga bad eggs? Kasi I think every community, every line of work, any industry in general, may mga bad eggs, and may dark sides naman talaga siya. Let's admit to that. So, how true is that doon sa pinagdaanan mo?
Kasi nung nagsisimula tumambay sa mga ganun ako. And nung panahon na yon, hindi balat sibuyas sa mga tao. So people were not really that offended before. I would say that there is some truth regarding that when it comes to the cosplay blacklist. Actually, I have another podcast where we discuss that in detail. Kasi may tatlo kami, lahat kami involved. I have a cosplayer in there and also a cosplay journalist. So, discuss namin. Pero as far as my experience is concerned, yeah, nangyari na siya noong mid-2010. Just because sobrang rampant ng mga tao na nambubuli ng tao or they're harassing them. So definitely, you really want those people out of the community. Just because of the evidence that you have that they did something really wrong. The problem is, there are also some people na sinusumbong tapos yung totoo, hindi naman pala sila. So where do we draw a line regarding that? And I'm an advocate for free speech and also for people na you have the right to do whatever you want, but not to the expense of the health and security of other people. So once pa na ako naka-witness ng ganyan, nung may nag-away na, actually hindi pa nga parang photographers pa nga lang yun nag-away sa sa likuran ng Mega Mall, nagsapakan silang dalawa.
Ay, wow.
because of a cosplayer na parang di nila parang ako na lang kukuha nito. No, hindi, nauna ako yung parang may mga petty na away na ganun. So ban sila sa Mega Mall, or at least sa mga events na meron yung na yun, yung production na yun. So we really want people na ganun yung ugali out of it, or at least give them a warning that this cannot happen again. Kasi kapag yung mga ganyan hinayaan nila, if you they call this, if you just let bad habits be bad habits and they constantly do it, it becomes something very hard to control, and other people will have the license to do the same thing.
Mhm.
So, yeah. So, as far as
So
your
far.
question is concerned, kung naka-experience na ba ako, yes, nakakita ako, which yun nga yung example ko. Pero those weren't cosplayers. Those were just people involved in the community.
Are you still
Pero
active?
it does...
Ay, sorry to cut you off.
No. Go ahead.
Are you still active sa community, in engaging in the community?
I would say a bit, but not that much. Siguro, I'm active by association.
Pero compared
Kasi
before... compared before.
Matanda na ako eh. Matanda na ako yung kumpara dati. I mean, the only time that I go to events nowadays, it's either I like the event so much or my band will be playing main stage. So, outside of that, bihira na ako pumunta sa mga events. Unlike 10 years ago, every event pinupunta ko. Kasi it's very fun naman talaga. Not just because of the cosplayers, it's the whole thing that surrounds the event. Yung mga pwede mong gawin, mga pwede mong bilhin, the people you like to interact with, and also getting to know other like-minded people who enjoy what you enjoy. So, yun siguro. But there's also an upcoming event on March. I'm not sure if I'll be there, but I'll try. Yun nga.
But at least, anong tawag nito? Anong tawag niyan? Meron ng, at least bumabalik na yung event slowly. Diba? Kasi, 2 years na halt ang, na halt ang mga events ng mga iba't ibang cosplayers, major events. Hindi lang naman sa cosplaying in general. Kasi yun nga, because of the pandemic, and it is now bumabalik na. And, looking back, naalala ko lang, bang nag-uusap tayo kanina, biglang pumasok sa isip ko, na nang hinayang ako sa isang nangyari sa community na yung nag-shutdown yung Hero TV sa mga young people.
Oh, yes.
Sa mga young people, I am sure pag alam nyo yung Hero TV, matanda na kayo. Pero ano tawag niyan? For the knowledge muna before JM and I discuss this, for the knowledge of everyone, Hero TV was a TV channel na kung saan doon laging nagpi-play ng iba't ibang anime pero in Tagalog dub. Lahat sila dubbed. And ang maganda dun sa anime channel na yon na Hero TV, parang ito yung naging starting point in connecting so many cosplayers, so many anime watchers, because may mga alam ko maraming events na sponsored by Hero TV, sila yung nagsimula. And actually ang mga commercials ng Hero TV, hindi siya katulad nung let's say ABS-CBN, GMA na may mga produkto. Ang commercial ng Hero TV are anime themselves. Iba't ibang anime din, di ba? So, nung time na yon, for sure, you are, mas involved ka doon sa event. How did nasasana ako sa industry. How did the community took that big hit nung nag-shutdown ng Hero TV?
Honestly, hindi ko siya ramdam. The main reason why is Hero TV was probably one of the most influential piece of media na meron back then. But the problem is, as years pass by, we have this thing called the internet. And then, onti-onti na nawala ng value yung Hero TV kung tutusin. It's because YouTube, di ba? Nagkaroon na ng Hero TV even before YouTube eh.
Yes.
So, when looking back, nung tinitignan ko nga, 2005 yung Hero TV. Back then na hindi pa ganun kasikat yung YouTube, or at least most content, you could just access it through TV, also paid television. So, ganun kadami yung ganun ka-influential yung Hero TV before. And then, they also have other events na ginagawa nila. And I think, most notably, parang sa UP yata as far as I could remember. Pero, as the years pass by, medyo umunti na rin ng umunti yung interest ng tao sa Hero, because you could either stream through Netflix, you could stream to YouTube na mga gusto mong panoorin. Pero medyo nawalan na rin ng onting yung importance yung Hero TV. But for the people na naging fans nito, pinapanood pa rin talaga nila. and for their involvement in the events, sabihin ko na in the events industry, in cosplay, malaki din sila dati. But then again, pumapasok din dito yung mga ibang producers, different production team that also have their own names na nakapag-build up din ng nakapag-build up din ng sarili nilang brand sa sumikat na. So, little by little, medyo hindi na rin ganun kakilala yung Hero TV. Even if you ask people na nagkaroon na ng or at least got involved around 2010 onwards, hindi na nila maaalala to. Parang tayo na lang talaga makakaalala ng Hero TV, to be honest. And it's very funny because one of the last interviews ng Hero TV, dapat kasama yung banda ko doon. Kinuha na nila kami ng footage, in-interview nila kami, and then hindi lumabas. So Hero TV, labas nyo naman. Sayang. 2018 yun. But yeah, I miss it because you could see that kung gaano sila ka-passionate when spreading out anime. Kasi before ngayon nga, hindi naman ganun ka-accessible yung anime talaga. We are very lucky because Hero was a 24/7 paid channel talaga.
Yes. Actually, yes. Yun din yung nagustuhan ko doon. 24/7 siya.
Anytime. Gising ka ng umaga or pag madaling araw, kunyari tulog yung nanay mo or parents mo, pwede ka manood, di ba?
And may time slots din sila. Yun din yung Hindi siya yung katulad ng iba na random lang na nag-show. At least talagang systematic sila. And pag may new season talagang pinopromote nila. And also, I think yung tawag niyan? No, alala ko pa noon kasi during nung mga nag-i-air pa yung Hero TV, na-release yung Attack on Titan. And I was this one na, ano kaya na itong Attack on Titan pag tinagalog dub? Kasi I think during those times, Filipino voice actors talagang tinitingala sila. They are being interviewed. Talagang pinipray sila for their performances. Pero all that faded noong na-discover ng mga anime watchers ang Japanese dub. Nung lumabas yung appreciation ng Japanese dub, nawala. As in, ang bilis nawala nung appreciation ng Tagalog voice industry natin when it comes to anime. And it's, I think, one of a kind experience na hindi may experience na ng mga future generations. Yung impact na nagawa ng Hero TV to the community. Kasi it was a pillar na, alala ko yun ang usapan namin dati. Uy, nanonood ka ng Hero? Parang it's a point of conversation na ang ganda sana. And sayang hindi siya na-reincarnate even in the social media scene. Sayang nga eh.
Kasi the weakest, the main thing here is it wasn't as sustainable as let's say Cartoon Network.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a lack of funds and also the lack of people watching. And again, you have to attribute it with the rise of the internet, the rise of sailing the high seas, sabi nga nila. So you tend to get your media from other sorts of platforms like YouTube or downloading it somewhere, Crunchyroll. And you can't blame people for doing that kasi may kanya-kanya tayong preference pagdating sa sa entertainment natin If we want to watch it na isang buong diretso, you can't really tune into Hero na parang, di ba, one episode per day, di ba? So yun siguro yung din na parang naging mapili na rin masyado yung tao. But I guarantee you, if hindi naging ganun ka-innovative yung internet natin, Hero might still be around for a few more years.
Yes, can agree. Parang yan yung ang industry kasi ng Hero, parang yan yung tawag yan? Yan yung golden nugget na pag na-miss out mo, wala na talaga. Hindi na siya babalik. Kasi malabo nang babalik ang Hero. Maybe it will be reincarnated in some form, pero not to the extent na impact na nagawa niya. Kasi dyan na sumikat sila. Diyan lalo nakilala sila Alodia, yung mga iba't ibang voice actors and actresses. And through that, before we discuss doon sa rating and feedbacking nung episode ng Project Offbeat, this will be my last question sa iyo. Kasi diba napag-usapan ko, nasabi ko kanina yung Attack on Titan. And one of the things na I found weird is that people are shaming other people or particularly anime anime fans, yung quote-unquote devoted anime fans, they are shaming people for liking mainstream animes like, let's say, Jujutsu Kaisen, Demon Slayer, Attack on Titan, yung mga considered na hyped up anime. So, on your part, what do you think on ganong form of, I think it is a form of gatekeeping na
Yes,
ang alam mo lang Attack on Titan, hindi mo alam yung mga magagandang anime, hindi mo alam yung mga Boku no Pico, hindi mo to the audiences, please do not search that. Never search that.
No one should watch that. No one should watch that. No one in their right mind.
Dapat wala na yan sa internet. Mawala yan sa internet. Pero
there are far worse, PJ. There are far worse shows than.
Yeah. Parang it became a meme. It became a meme na yan ang entry point mo to anime, pero pero I digress. So ikaw, what do you think on that kind of gatekeeping sa when you are liking kung ano yung popular na anime sa ngayon?
What you mean is what my reaction is with people trying to bash other people na ito lang ang pinapanood nila, right?
Yes,
tama,
exactly.
Diba?
Yes, exactly.
So, number one, I'm not a mainstream fan. So, I would care less kung anong panoorin ng tao talaga. People like to watch Shingeki no Kyojin, which is Attack on Titan. You go ahead and watch it. I tried it. 2 episodes. I didn't really like it, so binitawan ko kaagad. But you will never hear me bashing other people when it comes to their taste. Unless some people will make some outrageous claim that sabihin natin na yun nga, Boku no Pico is the best anime of all time. So yun, may ano ako doon. May sasabihin ako regarding doon. Pero when it comes to other people's preference, no one has any hold over that. Kasi yun ang preference ng tao. It's something that you'd like to do, and that's something you'd like to watch. So you could react to it, but you just can't bash people because yun lang alam nila. But who knows? Maybe you're talking to a normie. Even I don't even understand the concept of quote-unquote normie, pero ginagamit na ng term. But we stick with what we love. For me, I love watching Hellsing Ultimate.
Oh, I like that. Yeah, I love that.
This is the best anime of all time for me. Well, parang yun na yung number 2. Number 1 would be traditional Dragon Ball. I'm a big fan of Dragon Ball. Lumaki ako. So, naabutan ko lahat ng iterations of Dragon Ball. And Slam Dunk, fan din ako. Samurai X, Rurouni Kenshin, fan din ako. Baki the Grappler, fan ako, lalo na yung mga lumalabas ngayon.
Yung bago, I agree.
And, yeah, maganda yung bago. So, people are also bashing me kasi yun lang alam ko. But siguro yung reaction ko is, it doesn't matter because at least nanonood ako. Hindi ako nagpapanggap ng something na hindi ko alam. Kasi there's a difference from people na sabihin nilang fans sila ng ganito, and then pag tinanong mo, wala silang alam. Rather than, ito yung limited knowledge ko because this is something that I just watched. This is just the part of anime that I enjoyed. This is just a character that I love out of that anime. So, yung pag-gatekeep ng ganon, I just wish people would stop if it's not going to harm the fandom. Kasi yun nakaka-turn off dun eh. Once you bash someone with limited knowledge na hindi naman niya pinag-ayabang na magaling siya or alam niya lahat, they'll be turned off and probably not even consider watching that anime moving forward. So, in a world na panay na tayo ngayon, criticism negatively or negative criticism towards other people regarding what their personal preference are, we could use a bit of restraint pagdating sa comments natin because again, these are the people's preference. It's not yours. They don't need to live by your own standards. They live by their own. So watch what you want, enjoy what you want, and just be a good person.
Yeah, again, totoo siya kasi I have so many friends, students as well na hindi talaga mahilig sa anime pero they are only watching one kind of anime. Ano ba yung mga popular? I have many people na nanonood ng Attack on Titan kasi nagustuhan nila. Pero they don't watch any other anime, just Attack on Titan kasi they love the story. If you will bash that person for watching Attack on Titan, dahil yun lang yung pinapanood nila,
do you think they'll be interested in watching anymore?
Mukhang hindi na eh. Pero kahit ako,
Exactly.
diba? Kahit ako naman, pag sabihin ako ng gano'n, ay grabe naman yung mga taga-anime, ganito, mga isip bata. No.
Yeah, and it's also a negative feedback on your end. Let's say na-involved ka sa cosplay community na, so, si JM, sobrang critical ng ganito. And sinabi pa niya na wala akong kwentang tao kasi ito na-enjoy ko. Tingin ko, ganito na yung lahat ng tao dito sa community nito. So, might as well not join them or not even talk about it anymore.
Agree.
Diba?
Ang weird ng to all the things na dapat mo i-gatekeep yung mga popular shows pa. And at minsan another one there's the reverse na kung saan there are people who love yung mga underrated na manga, underrated na anime. Tapos mababad trip sila pag naging mainstream yung anime na yun kasi marami nang nagkakagusto.
Yeah.
That's
tribalism talaga kung tutusin.
Oo.
It's something I'm into rin. Parang siguro in my end, I lose a lot of passion when people already know a lot. Parang alam mo yun, parang kumalat na siya kasi dati parang special siya, then parang ako lang nakakaalam eh. Diba? And also I try to spread it as much as I can pero nalaman mo sobrang dami na pala tao nakakaalam. So no one really wants to hear what I want to say. That was my attitude before. And wala namang tawag dito. You don't get anything good out of it. You're just living in your own fantasy world that I need to put place what they call this a cage where my favorite animes are and then no one will be able to know it. And it limits your talking points to other people na fan din ng anime kasi ayaw mong share na alam mo pala yung ganito ganyan.
Kaya nga eh. Pero di ba mas nakaka-boring yun na walang nakakaalam ng kung ano yung gusto, kung ano yung hilig mong anime. I don't know. Maybe some people enjoy that kind of thing pero hopefully I can understand it. It's just people being people. To be honest, there's some attitudes na gano'n. Sometimes introverts daw and also extroverts. Iba. There are a lot of factors regarding it. Yeah. But in the end, we're just talking about fictional characters and also fictional series. So, true. What's the big deal? Yeah, yung tipo
just share what you have.
Let people enjoy their own shit. Why interfere, di ba? And ending this episode, sa mga nakikinig, di ba? Wala kayong related wala kayong masyadong narinig sa amin na related doon sa episode nila Project Offbeat because we want you to listen to that full episode. Because if we discuss everything point by point, wala na. Para at least, pero some of the context na pinag-usapan namin were taken from that episode so that you can have an idea on the flows na pinag-usapan nila. Di ba? So overall, JM, how did you find that episode? The way they explored the topic since you are more involved in the community than I am.
I think when looking into that episode alone, it's going to be a mixed bag of emotions and also reactions from people who are involved in the community. And you have to understand that the interviewers for Project Offbeat are coming from an outsider's perspective. You really don't know anything about the cosplay community to begin with. And I think they're doing it with a good heart and also a good purpose. So I give them a pass for that, except for the continuous usage of the word industry because it really isn't an industry. So people who would like to know more on how the cosplay community works, if you like to dive into some business stuff, please do tune in to this episode because you'll get to see an insider's perspective through Bear. And yeah, it's very informative. You get to see how much she also shells out when it comes to her costumes. Not really the exact amount, but you'll get to see how much and also how expensive the hobby is before turning it into an actual quote-unquote business. So that's informative. It's 100% informative. I love how they actually the guest talk. That's the most important part of what we do when people interview someone. There are some episodes kasi ng ibang tao na parang na-overshadow yung guest. Here, you don't feel it. They really know the dynamics when talking to people. It's something that I really enjoy in that episode. They let the guests talk, and also you get to hear the passion that Burr has on cosplaying, which is the main thing, the main topic. Kung tutusin. Take away the title, just place their Nicola Burr Reyes cosplayer, artist, and listen to it. You are going to get a lot of knowledge out of it. You are going to enjoy it, even as an outsider. You are going to have a treat listening to this. As far as rating is concerned, is it out of 10?
Yeah, out of 10. Out of 10.
Out of 10. For being this precise, informative, and also fun, I could give it at around an 8.5.
Okay, and
but if I'm going to focus on Bear lang, sa mga sinabi niya, I'm definitely going to give it a 9.5.
Okay. Wow, mataas. That's good. Kasi I think that episode ng Project Offbeat, it's a very good entryway to those people who are interested in the community. Kasi you are hearing the perspective of someone that has, quote unquote, technically, they already made it. Na they are already they already have an established name for
success.
Yung definition ng success natin pagdating sa isang cosplayer. She is a perfect example for that. Kasi that was a good choice of guest nila. And the dynamic of the host was very professional. I've listened to so many podcasts. Hindi ko napapangalanan, syempre. I've listened to so many. Syempre, kasi parang may ang podcast before kasi I start podcasting. Na-foresee ko na some of the things I would be doing is interviews. So I want to listen to people who are doing podcasting that are conducting interviews. And there are so many. I think 15 based from my records na nagbago ako magsimula. There are 15 na podcast na na-turn off ako on how they interview their guest kasi halos hindi mo maririnig yung guest. Every point, alam mo, kina-cut off sila every point na may interesting. Hindi lang sana mag-cut off ng guest pero after na nila magkwento, saka ka na mag-interject. Hindi yung during the point, mag-interject ka. Nawawala na. Nalala ko, may isa silang guest doon. Ang sabi tuloy ng guest, naawa tuloy ako. Hindi ko na, napasabi tuloy siya, hindi ko na alam, ano nga ulit yung sasabihin ko. Tapos tumawa lang yung host. So gusto ko sanang sigawan. Kasalanan mo yan eh.
I think we're talking about this in a more constructive also. But I also hate podcasts na panay-tawa lang. It's one of the gripes na meron ako. Why are you guys even laughing out of context na panay-tawa nila naririnig mo, hindi nakakapagsalita yung guest? The main reason why you have the guest is for them to provide value towards your audience.
Yes.
If you haven't done that, you haven't had a successful episode regardless kung gaano kadami nakikinig.
Yes.
I think that's my measure of success.
And ano tawag nito, Project Offbeat does that perfectly na they have the balance, di ba? And okay sa mga magbabarkada kasi personally gumawa kasi ako ng mga episode ng mga magbabarkada. If ang episode nyo ay kayo-kayo lang, wala kayong special guest, by all means tumawa kayo, magwala kayo.
Yes.
Oo, kasi pero if you are involving someone that is outside of your group, you treat it as a professional setting. And that was ang ganda, and even Bern was comfortable doing that. And may isang moment lang doon, may isa lang akong naalala moment kasi 'di ba, na-conscious tuloy bigla yung this is ano tawag nito, this is not about, hindi to pambaba siya, Project Offbeat, if nakikinig kayo, I love that episode. Pero there was a moment na nag-share si Nicole, di ba? Si Bern. After niya mag-share, may nag-comment yung isang host. Ang dami ng, this is not quote in quote, direct quote, parang yung context lang na, ang dami nang nasasabi ni ang dami nang nasasabi ng guest natin. Parang ganon, acknowledging that. Na-conscious tuloy yung guest na, ay sorry po kung masyado kung maraming nasasabi. sorry lang kasi parang I made those kind of mistakes then when interviewing na ina-acknowledge ko na ang dami mong nasasabi. Parang nakaka...
It could have been worded better. Yun na siguro.
Yeah, it could have been worded better. But other than that, everything was good. Kasi parang sinalo siya, ang bilis nung pagsalo ng isa niyang co-host na but that's okay, di ba? Pero I think it would turn out very differently pag walang sumalo nung statement na yun. Kasi
yes, kasi 'di ba the cosplayer felt a bit uncomfortable, and some people who are just starting this hobby, they really don't know how to react when the guest says something like that. You have to do something to recover, or at least make it a bit more comfortable for that person to speak more. No, let's go ahead. No, I'd like you to continue because we're learning a lot from you. So let's go ahead and tell me more. Mga ganon. So it really comes with ano din eh. I know you've been doing this for quite some time na rin. So between you and me, kaya nating gawin yon. May mga tao kasi na hindi pa nila kaya. So in this regards, parang a small comment sometimes turns out to be a big deal dun sa guest kapag hindi nila naiintindihan na maayos.
And parang hindi naman dun sa host na nag-comment na mention ko. I think
no, it's not a knock. It's not a knock on him.
It's not a knock on him. At the same time naman, I am sure his intention on saying that is not to make the guest feel awkward. Parang ang minimin niya lang is, wow, ang dami mong nakikwento.
They're astonished.
Na-acknowledge diba? Na parang yun nga, it could have been worded better, but I think that's the beauty of having two or more close people na kinabibilangan mo kasi one can detect if the guest is being uncomfortable and that person na gets niya for sure. Anong tawag niyan? I think ang interview nila face to face yun, di ba? Or maybe nakikita nila yung isa't isa webcam or physical, I don't know. Pero
I think naka-webcam sila.
Naka-webcam sila, di ba? I am sure nakita nung isa yung expression ng guest. Kaya nasinalo niya agad. And that was a good thing. So, commendable for the teamwork. But again, that was just a neat, hindi naman nitpick. That was just an observation. Kasi I think most interviewers made that mistake. Even I made that mistake. Having that kind of side comment. That's very normal kasi if you're being amazed from a guest, parang mako-comment mo talaga yun and then subconsciously
diba sorry off topic na to, and nung natackle yung yung episode ko, kinakabahan ako ng todo kay Max, sobra. It's not obvious in the way I talk to him, pero deep inside po siya nagpa-fanboy ako because this is a person I've looked up to, so everything would go wrong talaga. And what I learned there, because after that, a few months after that, I got to talk to another YouTuber content creator na umabot na ng 1 million yung yung subs niya. So that's, again, I'm a big fan of that. So siguro yung in terms of sa Project Offbeat, since they're doing this also for such time na rin, parang nakita na rin nila how to compensate dun sa mga ganong events. True. Para nakita na nila, kailangan kong i-backupan to, baka mamaya mali yung mangyari, at least nandito ako. True. Unlike both of us na parang we are a one-man show. Yeah, so, true. Mas mahirap sa atin.
At yung tipong walang sasalo, if we made that kind of mistake, hindi natin kayang bawiin yun. Mahirap.
Trial and error rin tao.
Oo. And at least doon, hats off to Project Offbeat. Personally,
yes, definitely.
It was also an 8.5. Pero overall, yun nga, kung kay Nicole, kasi si Nicole yung highlight eh. Nicole was, for me, 10 kasi honestly, I don't know the industry. So parang it was a huge, it was a huge form of information na nakuha ko. And the conversation itself was 8.5. Mas ang ganda niya. Ang ganda niya talaga. And yung dun,
siguro,
sige lang.
I'm sorry, siguro kung ako yung mag-i-interview sa kanya, I would have dived into more yung experiences niya sa cosplayer. Because, not saying na hindi nila ginawa, pero you would like to get a more insider's perspective on how things really work in an event. Kasi kung gusto mo talaga malaman kung paano nila ginagawa yung bagay na ginagawa nila, like let's say brand ambassador sila, how do they get to that level? doon medyo nagkulang. Kasi yun, I think Project Offbeat is based on business, di ba? And business talks, so it's a business podcast, business-centered podcast. I guess siguro may part 2 pa to.
So
we don't know.
Hopefully may part 2.
And yun na siguro idadagdag ko doon, yung personal experiences niya, how to score brand deals, how to be a brand ambassador, how to get proper gigs on your own, how to market yourself, na yung talagang todo marketing. Not giving everything away, pero at least nakikita ng tao, this is very hard work. Hindi pala ganun kadali maging hindi pala ganun kadali na pagkakitaan tong hobby na to. Yes. Same with other hobbies, same with photography, same with IT, or sabihin natin freelance IT ka, mahirap talaga.
True, I agree. And anong tawag nito, for the benefit of everyone listening, lahat ng links nung podcast nung Project Offbeat, pati yung minention mo kanina, I want to add it sa baba, yung industry secrets nung nag-usap kayo nung yung na-mention mo kanina. That will be also linked down if you want to listen to that. Parang yun, yung episode nila GM na yun, parang mas deeper deeper doon sa behind the scenes ng industry if you want to know that more. And with that,
I'll send the link over that. Yes, nasa ibang podcast ko yun.
So we'll just link it down below. And with that, JM, thank you so much for ang saya talaga pag ganitong episodes, kasi ga-enjoy ako kasi parang we are getting to collaborate with ideas of different podcasters as well. So thank you so much, Project Offbeat, JF. Thank you so much for again, thank you so much talaga. And with that, everyone, this is PJ of Chill Talk saying take care, goodbye, and be safe. Bye-bye.